green's awful. Well, when you get on the course, there's a couple spots, but all in all, they're good. I go, they're more like the chipping green. They go on the golf course, and they come back afterwards, and they go, yeah, Jeff, you're right. There were a couple spots, but all in all, they're good. They rolled nice.
Why don't we tell people that?
Well,
To let them know. And then their expectations could be less.
And we are closing the putting green down
April 1st.
April 1st.
That's right.
I mean, the only reason it's open now is because of the whole forever, hey, we gotta run a business.
Is there fungus in those?
No, it's bad. Right now, no. No, it's just algae.
Did you spray fungicide?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You've been spraying fungicide on that since September 1. And then for the algae, so what happens in this situation, what happens is, all right, so you start getting this bad weather and it's holding water, it's not draining, the green's not draining. And so that, those areas are getting thinned out, and they're starting to choke out and drown out and get weak. And then you get a week or two with no sunlight. That's only helping it. Well, in the meantime, now the algae's growing, because the algae loves that type of weather. So now you're battling this out. Well, the same things that you want to do to make the grass better is going to make the algae better. So, weekly we're going out and spraying Zerotol, which is basically hydrogen peroxide and a type of propionic acid that's mixed with it. And that's what kills it, dries it out, but then you get that ugly, gray, hard, crusty layer. But you got to get to that point to get the grass back. I'd almost like to see it where it looks better when it's smooth and kind of wet looking, but it's not what's best. You got to get through that point to get it where, and like even in the worst area was the front of the putting green, the main area. That area was almost completely void. I mean, completely. I get down on my hands and knees like this and I'm like looking for small little leaflets of grass to hopefully come through. And now, in that area, there's probably 40% of cover. Every morning I come up and, when I hit that area and I look at with lights. This weather, like I said, yeah, it's dry. For the fairways and rough, it might be a little hard on the course, but for the greens, this is exactly what we need. It's exactly what we need. We're mowing and rolling every
Why
day.
do we wait until April 1st to close the putting green?
What's that?
Why do we wait until April 1st?
Just said that there's that battle again. Once you hey, you want to have that option for people to play, but is it really gonna the play we're getting out of now isn't gonna hurt it? You know what I mean?
Anymore.
I'm not saying hurt it.
Right.
I'm just saying let's close it off to let people know we're working on an issue.
Yeah.
Well, part of it is closed off, isn't it? No. Okay.
No, we had it closed off for a while.
April 1st is what? 8 days?
8, 9
It
days.
was an arbitrary date.
Yeah,
It's
it's like-
April.
Yeah, it was just a date.
Close April
Why don't we
1st.
just shut it now? It looks like we're working on it.
Shut it Thursday.
Yeah.
After Ladies' Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, shut it, because they have their member tomorrow. I don't want to.
Right. And that's really all I have.
Okay, you want to move some
Oh, yeah.
chair picking over?
I'm gonna Bill CDD.
No, Phil's over there.
Oh,
We get this all chair.
Let the record reflect the supervisor all of this.
Okay, Jeff's up next. He's coming over to the microphone.
So far in March, we're going right along the plan. I gave you guys an update as of yesterday. And according to these numbers, 9 days left in the month, we should be right on plan. We will have a little bit of drop off towards the end of the month, the 30th and the 31st probably, because the 3-month rental people, those folks are leaving, they're going back north. We might drop off a little, but not I don't think anything substantial. Sunday was a little bit slower than what it's been, but yesterday was good, and Friday and Saturday last week were terrific. So I mean, I don't really see any kind of huge drop off, and we should continue on with the really good season we've had. And to John's point, despite the fact of the issues we've had with the greens, it's been a terrific year for golf. COVID's actually
Helped us.
I guess. I mean, you hate to say things like that, but in all actuality, COVID's been good for golf. That's bad to say, but true.
Sure.
As far as CenturyLink, I see that's on the agenda. I have called a couple times to have somebody call me from CenturyLink about a proposal. I've heard nothing back. I called yesterday. I heard nothing back today. So I think that, I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't want the business. I don't know exactly what the deal is. I will call again tomorrow. We still have some issues here and there with the phone. It's gotten a little better, but occasionally it will dump calls, and I don't know what that's about. I know with the increased bandwidth and, people working from home or whatever, that's Comcast's excuse. I don't know how much truth there is to that or not. I don't really know much about that industry, so we'll do the best we can to create the best phone possible for our club.
If I could tell you, I've used Comcast Voice for 15 years.
Yeah.
Now, my experience is through just civilian. It's not a business account per se. It's just linked into my home. But I don't. There's any experience sometimes we got outages or drop calls, so there's some risk. Voice certainly it's not perfect yet. It's a lot better than it was 15 years ago. But what I experienced with the calls just seemed a little. I don't know. It would almost seem like it was a voicemail system to some degree. But you would get in and it would just almost either just die or loop you around.
Yeah. Well, the phone system is 10 years old. I mean, it is probably time to replace it.
Right.
I mean, honestly.
The last time we talked about this, weren't you also kind of throwing that out there that maybe we should look at upgrading the phone system because, as we all know, phones, 10 years.
Well, yeah,
10 years in telecom, it's like 50 years in vehicles.
It would definitely be an item we'll put in the budget and we'll plan on for October.
Okay.
I mean, I talked to Steve at Florida Communications, who we used last time, and, he said, yeah, we can definitely upgrade the system, and he's going to give me a price. So that's on my list for budgeted items for 2021 and 2022.
Could we get Comcast out to look at it, have you?
We could,
Yeah, why don't we call them and have them come out and look and tell them that the voice is dropping? I mean, I had problems with mine. I had some guy come out the other day, rewired everything because he said everything was so old that the new technology couldn't get through the lines. So why don't you call Comcast for a service call?
do that.
Okay.
I mean, I think originally we went to Voice, and I was actually one of the advocates because it is just so much cheaper. I can't remember the savings, maybe you have it there, but it was.
Oh yeah, it saves quite a bit,
And
combining the
and
three.
that's my concern is maybe it's not necessarily the voice service, which again, voice service is not perfect, but it's come a hell of a long way in the last 10 to 15 years, and I use it every day. It's solid. So maybe it's more our system as opposed to the carrier or provider.
Okay,
So see if you can get them to come out.
I will.
Okay, cool.
I also passed out a tournament schedule for the remainder of the year, basically from outside events. On April 9th, we're hosting one of the Chubb Classic qualifiers. The Chubb is the Champions Tour event here in Southwest Florida. Friday the 9th, we'll be hosting one of their pre-qualifiers. Got Junior Golf Fundraiser, ESPN's hosting an event. We got Glide Golf doing a benefit, junior events. AJGA, of course, we talked about is going to be back here, and of course, the Passion Foundation and the Beefs fundraiser, and also not on this list, November 5th, we signed an event for an ALS fundraiser. So we're going to be busy this summer, obviously, and we also We're working with a company called Spark Golf. Spark runs afternoon leagues. They're doing an afternoon league on Wednesdays. They've already got 30-plus people signed up for it. It starts the end of April. It'll be a 5 o'clock shotgun or 4 o'clock shotgun, depending on the weather, and it's scheduled through September. So it's some additional afternoon revenue we can pick up.
May through September?
Yeah, basically, yeah,
Cool.
the last of April through September. And we'll see if weather permitting how that works out. And of course, we'll still be doing the Beach League on Thursdays. We'll be doing it forever. So, I'm looking at, we're gonna have a good summer. I don't really, it's hard to tell if the snowbirds are gonna go back early, or are they gonna stay? I know a lot of the states are still restricted. Michigan,
Jersey, New York,
New Jersey, New York, Illinois.
Delaware?
A lot of these states are still restricted. I don't know if people are going to go back early, if they're going to stay a little bit longer. I'm kind of hoping they stay till Memorial Day. I know the president said we can barbecue on the 4th. We'll all look forward to that.
Only on the 4th?
Only on the 4th.
On the 4th.
Your backyard.
And a very small group.
Not till the 4th, okay.
That's all right.
And a very small group, too. Anyway,
Yes,
I don't want to get political, but...
yeah.
But other than that, we're doing good. Kyle Schulte's been with us since September. His future wife is going to get her doctorate in pharmacy. She lives in the Tampa area. He's going to be moving up there in June, pursuing a career up there in that way. So he'll be leaving us. I don't have plans right away to fill the position. I have cross-trained most of the cart girls to work in the golf shop, so we'll use some of them for the summer. And then maybe in September, October, we'll look to hire another assistant or a seasonal assistant, depending on what we decide.
Okay.
But Tyler is been on an internship from Amherst College outside in Massachusetts. And he is going to graduate, and he's going to stay with us and pursue a career as a golf professional, despite me trying to talk him out of it. I'm just kidding. But, anyway, he's going to do that, and he's a great kid. A little bit of Boston in our golf shop, which is something.
Get up in the Midwest.
Something, like all Midwest, Southerners, and now we got Boston. But he's done really well so far, and I hope he continues to grow, and I don't think he'll have any issues passing the PAT. He's a pretty good ball player. Other than that, things are going good. Men's league continues to be steady. We've noticed that Saturday revenue is up year to year, so things are going well there. Anything, you guys, any questions?
I don't have any questions. But while you're here, the next thing on the agenda is the remediation. Have we heard anything from DeSalvo or the insurance company, or?
Nothing.
Dan, have you heard anything from them?
I have not. I'll make a follow up with them and see whether that process is.
Okay, because we did have Kobe come out, and the air quality in the pro shop is fine, so we have no rush to shut down at this point. So we're just waiting to hear back from them. So if you hear from them, I know you'll let us know. I haven't heard from
Do we
them.
have an official date of Duffy's opening? There's been a
19th
19th of
April.
April.
So
Okay.
we signed a small event for April 20th in the evening, 4 p.m. shotgun with Glide, and then do a long drive contest afterwards under the lights. And I know Duffy's is involved, so I would assume that that's...
Do we know who the new manager is?
No. I went to talk to him.
It's
Yeah, they named one.
I was told her name. It's a woman,
Let's find out maybe.
that's all I know. I was told her name, but I forgot it.
I'm glad you did.
I wasn't given any
Is
contact.
there a reason why the lights on the range are on at night?
Well, we leave them on until 8 or so because the cart guys are still there till a little after 8. It helps them put some light, put stuff on light.
Now it's okay, but in the winter. I mean,
Well-
we were closed at 6.
Yeah, we could probably shut that back at 7:30.
Yeah, I think Lloyd was having some time, maybe there was a timing issues going on there. Because they were coming on too late for us. We pulled up and we couldn't see, and I'm like, Lloyd, can we get these on a little, like 5 o'clock?
Just
You know,
have to adjust the time.
because it's almost pitch black up there without them.
I only asked because I was asked by a couple of people why we're not using the range.
Just see what the
I
time,
don't even, where's the timer for that
It's in the
at?
car park.
Is it?
just see what the timer's on, and see if we can adjust them. But the guys need them to close up at night.
Yeah, that's when they're on the leaf.
Okay. Anything else for Jeff? Okay, you move on to your seat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, the landscape committee, we have met with two different landscape architects. One, we have gotten a proposal for drawing up the plans and presenting them. John, you met with the other company?
Aaron, yeah, Aaron.
Have you heard back from him?
No, I haven't received anything via email.
Okay. I will contact him again today.
That was last Friday though, so I expect maybe
Yeah.
a couple weeks
A
before.
couple weeks, because it took us a couple weeks for
Yeah.
the other one. So I will touch base with them and, because I think we need to get started with this, because I'd like to get this started in the summer. The one thing that and I know I heard from you and from Elizabeth, that they were coming out of all the streets, they were very concerned about the line of sight and doing different landscaping there so as to make it safer. And so I was pleased with that. And the other thing that we did ask them is for the cul-de-sacs. We would like to bring them in, but we also said that that would be at the very end of the project, because we'll be doing the roads at that point in time, and maybe we can just build that right into the road project and bring that down. So, but I didn't get to see the other one, the Aaron, because I couldn't sit in the golf cart bouncing around.
Right. Yeah, we just rode around. He didn't really make any suggestions. Other than, some of the line of sight, he made a good point too. Because I had mentioned to him, I said, we really don't want to necessarily have to take all the trees out, maybe selectively pick or, to make it work and he was maybe suggesting that on a couple of them, you're probably going to have to take all the trees out, just on like one corner. I forget which tree it was.
I confirmed that with John, because Lou looked at this years ago,
Right.
and is it 50, 100 feet?
I think it's 85 feet to the left and 55 feet to the right when you're coming out.
Right, and if you take some time to look at those intersections and look at the trees, and because I did, most of them, paste off those, we would pretty much be taking every tree out on most of those intersections. And we have to lower the berm. That's to get it to spec.
Right.
So, I don't know if that's kind of going in and out, but if that's the conversation, if we are going to get it to spec, if that's what we're promising the residents of Stony Brook, then we better get ready, because we're going to have to tear out a lot and redo. You have to redo this walking path too, because you're going to have drainage issues, so you have to lower those berms.
Right.
So it's a pretty big project.
Yeah. So we're seeing where we are with that, and, making the corners as safe as possible without,
Do we have to spend the money this year?
well, we have the money. And yes.
It doesn't sound like we have enough money.
No, because we have told both architects that this would be a 3 or 4 year project. We'd start with the front road, maybe the community center, and then start branching out that way. So, no, we don't have enough money right now to do the whole thing, but we'll start working on it. And both architects knew that this would be a 4-year project, which is what I think we originally had figured when we, left the money in last year, that it would be an ongoing 4-year project. So I'll wait to hear back from Aaron, and we can hopefully finalize this at the next meeting. So, the next one was ADP. I will say that Crosby has done a phenomenal job. Everybody has been signed up for their new benefits. I've been on the phone with ADP and several of their people, very supportive. John met the uncoded for the payroll. I went through the reports that they sent me, and I couldn't get into the formulas because it was a protected worksheet, but they didn't foot, and Crosby worked with Katrina, and I think they're all in order now, and so they were going to talk with Rowie today and start posting those things, so all that uncoded should be taken care of.
Cleaned up, good.
So, and this was the last paycheck from China.
From TriNet. This one, the next one we receive.
The next one you're...
And then we're going to do 2 weeks, we're going to have a 2-week paycheck, our first check with ADP, and then from that moving forward, it'll be 1 week.
We're doing 1 week, okay. Very good.
And from what I know, everybody's 401ks I don't understand why they even said that. They said that you can't access them. Most people don't access their 401ks, right? Because you got to go through so much stuff. Like, I don't know if it's going to change, but with us, with the Trans-America, you had to take like $1,000 loan, and then if you needed more, then you could go.
Depends on how it's
It was
set
kind
up,
of odd. But they said that basically they'll be locked out for 3 months. You can contribute still.
Right, but
So to me, that means nothing. I mean, most people aren't accessing their 401ks.
Unless they're getting ready to retire.
Right.
They're not accessing it, so that should be fine. So that seems to be going a long way.
And then we got to have a sit down, me, Jeff and I, probably Bobby, maybe Taylor, I don't know.
Tyler.
I don't know, sorry, Tyler.
Sorry.
And sit down and do the payroll, submitting payroll and,
Right.
all that stuff. And just have multiple people and both departments be able to do it.
Okay. And I'm here to help if you have any questions or anything.
Yeah, because it's a weekly process now, you said.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. And then the only other thing Crosby said this morning was that if you want direct deposit, you're going to have to go in and set yours up.
Oh, so you got to reset up the direct deposit?
Yeah.
I asked her about that the day before, and she thought it was going to be streamlined like everything
And
else.
they
but-
were not able to streamline it, so just double check with Crosby, because this morning she said that they were not able to just push that over. So, some of these people may get a check the first time and then set up for the direct deposit, but that's how they'll have to do it. Okay. Keith? Chris and Dan, Keith Gomez is back from the county to talk about the road to the school.
So I spoke with the folks at DOT, County DOT, to go through what your concerns were and your requests. What they have indicated is that they can extend the temporary construction easement area to do a 1-inch mill and fill back through the intersection with the school entrance. There'd be no widening. It would be the current width on that paved area. One thing we need to do is revise the temporary construction easement legal description to make that additional distance, which I figured was not a concern for anybody. And then also, let's see, one other item we were thinking about was we're trying to justify that expense on the county side of the equation as well. The right-of-way easement that we have, if we were able to get that in fee so that the county would own that 15-foot by 30-foot area, that would help partially justify the additional expense that we're going through.
Which area is it? Frontage. Of course we do. American back exit.
Okay.
You really have a use to own it, do you?
No.
No.
I can't think of, I can see it was just convenient for.
No, they should have set up a lemonade stand out there.
Are they going to strip it and then repave it?
Yes, they're gonna mill out 1 inch.
Okay.
And then put in the top, so to speak. And that'll get through that intersection with the driveway to the school.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, I heard it properly, so it sounds like the county is willing to basically update, fix the road, but basically we would be, well, in return, they would want ownership of it, correct?
Not the road, the 15 by 30 easement that they were asking for.
Oh, the easement.
Not the road, just the easement. So,
Which is useless to us
But the
anyway.
road would be proper, basically updated.
it will be updated and usable. So,
Yep.
do I have any,
Dan, do you see any legal issues there? It's a transfer of a public asset to another public body.
No, the county gave us their governmental entity, they could actually exercise their domain and accomplish this. They were basically doing it without forcing them to go through that formal process.
Don't give them any ideas, Dan.
What I would ask on that, as your board makes a motion, we would like to have that fee. If some title issue comes up that we can only, or is preferred that we take it as a right-of-way easement, I'd like for either to be approved. The fee simple is, the basis that we're going on, but if there's some hurdle that we can't overcome to acquire that, whether there's some notice matter or something else, then I'd like to
When you say you
revisit
wanted
that.
a fee, what does that mean?
That means that will be a 15 by 30 foot cutout that you will no longer own.
Okay.
The county would have title, so if you did a boundary survey, you'd have that notch in there.
Okay.
It'd just be for utilities. It's probably, you wouldn't notice much difference in the, activity that's out there. We have it as right-of-way easement or fee. But the preference, like I stated, is fee, but if we have both included in the board motion, that fee is preferred, easement is a backup, which is consistent with your packet today for the agenda. I just don't want to, I don't want to miss something also on my side, so I'd like to have that as a backup. We'll revise the legal description to extend just past the entrance to the school for the temporary construction easement, so that could be part of the motion as well. And then I will provide a new legal description, probably by tomorrow, for that extended length. The goal, of course, is keeping the DOT and consultants on schedule.
okay.
Is this separate from the
Yes.
development? Okay. This is the Corkscrew Road widening.
This is the county for the Corkscrew Road. It's not the village doing the walk, and it's not Corkscrew Pines doing the other thing. So, okay, do we want a motion?
I don't know how to say the motion.
Okay.
Make it.
I think you have two. Let's keep them separated. And
Okay.
we'll go first with the approval of the extension of the temporary construction easement going just past the entrance to the school, and that's discussed.
Okay. Do I have to do that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
And the second one
You
is...
oppose it, Chris?
No.
Said aye.
He said aye. It's a little delayed there. Okay, the second one,
The second one is to approve fee title transfer of ownership of the 15 by 30 parcel that currently houses all of the equipment to Lee County as a preferred means of transfer. Shall we run into issues with that, the fallback would be to continue as an easement in favor of Lee County for that same parcel.
I'll make that motion. Second.
all in favor? Aye.
I'll make
Opposed?
that motion, as Chuck said.
Okay,
I have a quick question for you before we leave.
all right.
If
Thank you,
you, so
Chair.
let's say there's a natural easement, right? There's always an easement. And county has to come in and they give them that easement. Does my easement now start from that line? Is there another easement now? Is there always an easement?
Well, by conveying one easement or by conveying fee, it doesn't alter the adjacent easements.
Right, so there's always an easement no matter what. No matter if the property line gets bigger or wider, there will always be some type of easement between the municipality and the property owner?
Sometimes I should say, in that instance out front, if you're referring to the 15 by 30,
No, I'm not, I'm just referring to just an easement in general, like my property line, I live here, and the county road comes here. Let's say the county road says, hey, we need this land, and I give it to them. But now, do I have a new easement on,
no. If you have, a lot that's 80 feet wide, 130 deep, and they acquire 10 feet off of the frontage to expand the road, easements don't generally...
they don't keep
push
going,
back.
okay, that's what I was
my
wondering.
interpretation as a non-attorney.
Right. Yeah, I got it.
I'm just answering
Just a general question, right, just a general question.
Yeah, so don't,
No, oh, yeah,
Don't hold it against him.
no, I won't.
yeah. I don't want to get some letter in the mail. Keith said.
Keith, thank you very much for pursuing that this morning.
I appreciate all your time with this matter. I know that everybody's going to be looking forward to the road
Yes, very
being
much.
improved, and it's long in coming, as many have indicated, but
Now, the paperwork that you're going to send, will I have to sign that check? Okay, so,
and I will update the documents. The TCE will have the new legal description and some language about the milling and filling
Okay.
and the length, and then I will send that back to your council.
Okay.
Was my intention.
Yes.
I'm
And then-
happy to copy anyone else that wants to be.
do you want a copy of the check? Or should we just send it to Dan and then Dan will forward it to us?
Copy me as well, so I can stay in the loop on that.
Okay, copy
Because I'll
check.
probably coordinate the signatures with you.
Okay.
So I can notarize your signature.
Right. Okay, so if you can send it to Chuck and Dan,
Okay.
that would be great. And then they'll get it off to the rest of the board, so that'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
thank you very
fantastic.
much. I appreciate your time. Josh, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
Okay. All right. We have the financial statements and the minutes, and I have to kind of go through these. I have therapy at 11 o'clock, so I'm just physical therapy, not mental. So you
hey.
throw that out there.
How selfish of us, we'll do all the things you want to do.
I know, that's just so rude of me. Okay, for the financial statements, for the governmental funds, we're in good shape with everything. We've collected 95% of the assessment, so we're doing fine with that. As well as the bond. We have the bond payment May 1st for $285,000, the revenue bond. For the irrigation fund, we're in good shape there. We currently still owe the irrigation fund $250,000. And once we get the payroll organized and set up, and Chuck, I think we discussed this last month, can we just move the common ground payroll right to the irrigation fund to start paying that down? Okay. So we'll start doing that, because we'd like to, we're current with the payables, Jeff?
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
We are, we're current with the payables, which is great, so if we...
Matter of fact, we have a credit at the moment, for the first time ever.
Nice. So if we can start just, once Rory gets the, all the encoded fixed, if we can start just pushing the common ground payroll to needle that down, we'd like to get that down. Cash balance as of last Friday was $703,000, so we're doing really well with that, which is, I think, $65,000 over where we were same time last year. So the cash...
How much was that again?
703,000 and something, and it's about $64,000 over where we were same time last year.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. I'm trying to think what the golf consolidated report. Jeff or John, do you have any questions? I know, John, you had the uncoded, which was it's a huge amount, but...
Yeah, everything I have, I'm trying to get worked out with Lucy right now. Most of it, I mean, I get this Toro lease that's hanging around, that's actually a Common Grounds lease that keeps popping up. Obviously, the payroll, which is tied into that miscellaneous.
Right.
But other than that, no, I don't have any issues that, I mean, maybe down the road where we're gonna, at the end of the year, where everything's exactly gonna go, the mats, the pavers, the tents and all that stuff.
Right.
Because I know Jeff, I don't know if he's got that cleaned up out of his yet, or...
Most of it.
I did have a question on the irrigation fund. The flood's pretty hard right now. Are we getting charged more? Or are we using more?
We're using more.
We're using more right now.
And being charged more because the more, but we're not hitting our threshold. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
John?
What was he asking?
We're both using more and getting charged more.
Yes.
Yeah, they increase the charge each year, incremental increases.
Sure, he's on water, okay. Jeff, we have not yet gotten a bill from TAQ for the moving of the condensers?
No,
Okay.
we submitted Kobe's estimate and radio silence since then, so.
Okay. I don't know if you all remember that when they moved our condensers, they charged us. I questioned why they were using, just spending my money. And they had said to get an estimate from Kobe, who was our air conditioning people, of what they would have charged, and it was about half. And we sent it to TAQ, so we have not yet paid that yet. They have not gotten back to us as yet. So, and I did say to him, and Jeff was there, and just said, you don't go spending my money without